Why are people comparing i-dle to 21? Enhypen caught up in a plagiarism accusation? But why are 17 receiving backlash for their upcoming anniversary? Not JYP forgetting to include ITZY's Lia in her own group? All that and more on today's episode of Totally Legit K-Pop News with me, Angelina. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. Resources as well as everything we're talking about today linked below. So without further ado, let's get into today's news. i-dle have just released their title track Superlady today, and I've actually seen a lot of people comparing this to 21, Girls' Generation, and even Tiara. Lovingly. Usually when we have someone comparing comebacks, it's in a, a more accusatory way. Maybe this group was copying this group or this is plagiarism. But interestingly, I haven't really seen any fan wars. Granted, where are blackjacks? But I digress. Even this NME article titled i-dle Channel 21 in their new music video for Superlady, in which they basically say, in the new music video for Superlady, i-dle channeled the vibes of iconic second generation K-pop girl group 21 with larger than life styling and matching costumes. It opens with the quintet making a powerful entrance on stage in a massive stadium as strobe lights flash around them. Even this response, no, because it's what I ever imagined 21 will be if they're still active. Thank i-dle for this. The song literally just came out and I've been receiving DMs and comments about how the 21 vibes are very much alive. I'll be honest though, even just seeing the thumbnail of the teaser, I thought of 21's I'm the Best, just the dark background paired with the silver. Granted, second gen were really into mirrored surfaces. Honestly, if any group does a music video with like a white background or a silvery background, I automatically think SM, because in second gen they really love to shove their groups into a box and call it a day for their music videos. But I wanted to check out the music video for myself to really see those 21 vibes to see if I agree. So I decided to do a music video reaction for my patrons and channel members. But here are some cuts from the video. Oh, every time I hear the I am a top super lady, it really reminds me of ITZY's Ringo, like, so good, so good, Ringo. It's like the tone of it. Do you hear it a little bit? Like it sounds like it's going into that, but I'm not saying it sounds the same, but it almost feels like it's going into that. Oh my god, the dog scene. There was a dog scene in 21's I'm the Best. Was there? Yes. Bohm literally had a poodle. But even before that, I'm pretty sure I saw some playing cards. So we have the playing cards. So of course, 21 stands for the new evolution for the 21st century. But they played a lot with cards, right? Because the fandom name is Blackjack. Of course, 21 don't own cards. But if we're looking specifically for 21 vibes in the music video, we have a card here. It seems to be the Queen card. Of course, there are plenty of other groups who also play with card imagery in their music videos and mixes dice. Do they actually? Did I invent that in my head? And I'm pretty sure I've seen i-dle have card imagery in their music videos before. I just wanted to point that out, but it's really cute that we have a queen card and instead of the Q, it's a G for i-dle. The puppies! Oh my goodness. So absolutely love that. It's kind of giving like Cruella de Vil. And we also have a similar scene in 21's I'm the Best music video with Bohm walking down a runway with a poodle. Oh my god, this is so niche, but there's literally a scene in 21's Don't Stop the Music where there's a similar scene like that. I know it's not original to anybody, but I just wanted to point that out way near the end of the music video where it gets like darker because the music video is so bright and colorful. Here we go. Them in boxes. So I have i-dle in boxes and then 21 in boxes as well. That part dun, 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 sounds really familiar and I can't put my finger on it. This reminds me a little bit of Everglow. Dun, 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 na, 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 na. Do you hear it? In terms of the vibes, I could definitely feel some second gen elements. For the full reaction, please check out my channel members and or my Patreon. But in reality, it really is my first time seeing these types of comparisons without negativity. Like I said before, it's usually like, oh my god, this group was copying this other group's concept. And it's usually filled with so much negativity, people throwing around plagiarism accusations. But really, I've seen just so much positivity. A lot of people just like reveling in the fact that a disbanded group's essence could be possibly referenced or brought back to life in some way. Just a lot of love and support, so let's read some comments. Felt like I'm watching a 21 comeback. This is amazing. Congrats, G-idle. As a blackjack, I think I have to thank G-idle for the whole homage to 21 and Superlady music video. Sun, Ukimyeon, Shoan, and Minnie permanently cured my longing for 21. Still very authentic to G-idle and yet nostalgic. The big room break, though. This user is pointing out so many similarities, so let's just check them out as well. Of course, the card scene that we talked about, but then we have the dogs and the gun. Shuha is shooting something, and then of course it's reminiscent of Dada in I Am the Best, who is also shooting something. The headpiece and the hair, okay, I see the vision. And then the hair, I don't know necessarily about the hair, but I love how like the pose is kind of similar. The cubicles and the uniform, I pointed out different cubicles in 21's Don't Stop the Music video. In terms of the uniforms, this is really funny because when I first saw the G-idle uniforms for Superlady, I was really thinking of After School's Bang. I know a lot of people associate 21 with those uniforms, but After School Bang was so iconic. The mother and daughter, Seal and Soyeon. Oh, beautiful. Oh, that's a fun little on top of a really giant statue. The fearless women. Very reminiscent, those backgrounds. Ooh. I was gonna say about it, I was gonna like mention the motorcycle scene in Swan, but it did. I was scared it would be a stretch, but that's exactly what I thought of. And then the girl crush pose. So shout out to this user. So of course, let me know what you think of the song Superlady. If you think it's bringing back some good second gen elements, if it reminded you of anything and so on. Personally, I think I'm gonna add it to my playlist and see how we fare with it. It seems that an artist has come forward to accuse Belift Lab of plagiarizing his song during Enhypen's dance break at the Golden Disc Awards. So let's check out this reel from Mobius Music.
Exactly how this huge K-pop group ripped off one of my songs. Check it out. Okay, so just an intro, nothing big, but what about this? The drops are pretty similar, but still could be coincidence, so let's take a look at the breakdown. So this group is called Enhypen, and they're massive. Basically, what's happened is they had a producer recreate the song beat for beat, but with very small changes to the melody and lyrics, likely to avoid having to pay any sort of licensing fee. Naturally, I've heard nothing back from them so far, and have received 0 credit for my original composition. More to come in part 2.
So this is part 1. As of now, part 2 has not been released, but essentially this artist is showing a side-by-side of his own beat and then the beat that Enhypen used for their Golden Disc Awards dance break. So here's the caption. Part 1. Man, this is not how I expected my week to go. It's incredible to see something I wrote reach such a wide audience, but at the same time, really sucks to see such a huge organization be so blatant with their plagiarism. It's going to be an uphill battle to get their attention and try to get credit for my work, so any help with commenting on their videos to spread awareness, politely and respectfully, sharing this video to a wider audience, tagging at Enhypen, etc. is all massively, massively appreciated. Naturally, when you accuse a K-pop idol or a K-pop group of plagiarism, or of anything for that matter, fans get extremely defensive. So if you go through the comments on that reel, you're definitely going to see some K-pop stans doing K-pop stan things. Not to paint us in a bad light or anything, but like I know how we are. So apparently he commented the following. So I want to make it clear that Enhypen is not directly responsible for this. The blame falls squarely on the shoulders of their management and producers at Belift Lab and Hybe. Please direct your tags and comments to them. And thank you to those who have reached out to educate me on this. To the Enhypen fans, please realize that how the K-pop industry works is quite different from the rest of the music industry in this regard. And most people who don't listen to it wouldn't know. Much love. You just know that he got so much hate from K-pop fans to make this. Well, obviously, thank you for reaching out and like teaching me this stuff. So not only do I want to know what you think of the similarity in terms of the beat, but also this whole like my faves are absolved of any accountability whatsoever when something goes wrong around them. Because of course, when a group is accused of anything, unless they specifically did it themselves, it does fall on the person who did it themselves. But also if you're like dancing to something, singing to something, if it's not directly your responsibility, you're still the face of it. You're still the one doing the thing. Because if I were a celebrity or I danced and sang something that was plagiarized, even if it's not my fault, even if I didn't do the plagiarism, I would still want to rectify that. Which I know for a lot of K-pop idols, they wouldn't be able to say anything anyways. I'm really curious about your thoughts on that because I see it constantly. In the sense that if we say Enhypen plagiarized, we all understand that whoever produced it plagiarized it. We can all read between the lines of the accusation to understand that the individual members of Enhypen, so long as they aren't producers on that track, aren't responsible for it. But given the fact that they're the face of the performance of that song, then it would make sense to include their name in this. But in his reel, he did say they had a producer do this. Do you know what I mean? Is it fans overreacting to the prospects that their faves are being hated on for something that is in connection to them? Or is it just normal to associate the face of someone doing something to your... I can't explain it that well. I think you guys know what I mean. Do you actually get me though? Because if someone says my work has been plagiarized by this group, and then all the fans are coming after this person being like, actually, it's not the group, it's the company. My question is that unnecessary? Or do the vast majority of people read between the lines of that? Oh, Jesus. Let's read some comments of what people think about this. They didn't say or claim that it's their music. The song was just used as a background song. If anything, the only action needed to be done is to give you credits under the video, which we don't even know if you're a writer or not. Additionally, it is one thing for you to say that you acknowledge that the group themselves isn't directly responsible for this, and another to agree with the comment that called them thieves. Damn, I can't even defend Enha here. Hope you get your coins. Ugh, so disappointed as an Enhypen fan. I thought their producers had bought the song. I hope this gets sorted and you get credit, but I want you to know that all fans really liked this music piece a lot, though we had no idea where it was from. Keep going. This is so childish behavior, making a video about your issue. If you are really concerned about the issue, then try to reach out to their company or just take legal action. Why you're making so much drama? Crazy to see all the little fans come after you for this. Your music was stolen straight up. There is no defense. I wish you the best. Next time, maybe blame their music director instead of the members. You are making it seem like they made it when they don't control that. You are making them look bad when they did not make it. Next time, do some better research instead of blaming the members. I get this comment all the time. Next time, do some research. And it's like, you didn't even watch the video. You're literally commenting into a void. Because in the reel that I watched, he said their producers took this beat and recreated the beat. Do you know what I mean? But Enhypen themselves are the ones who performed it. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a question about plagiarism, of course, but also how K-pop fans react to plagiarism accusations. Because you got this guy sweating with all your comments and responding like, well, the music industry doesn't work like this everywhere. Here are some comments on Reddit. It's quite literally copy and pasted. I don't know why Belift would do this. I just hope they fix it all quickly. Yeah, this was 100% plagiarized. With simple pop songs, sometimes melodies are similar because there are only so many chords on a guitar, and a lot of pop songs use the same 4 as the bass. But with the overproduced techno, a track like this is impossible to coincidentally make the same beat down to the drops and breakdown. It just doesn't make sense why they couldn't pay to use this for the performance. It wouldn't be an issue if they had, unless this is an employee trying to pass it off as their own. I can't fathom why they would do this. Very similar is not enough. Like, that is basically the same exact beat sequence. Absolutely annoyed at this right now and hope the original artist gets compensation. Oftentimes these claims are a little out there, but this plagiarism claim seems legit. The guy said he would have licensed the music to them, and it's not like Belift is poor. So dumb. So part 2 actually was posted as I was editing this, so I'll link it below if you'd like to check it out. The big basis of it all is that he's correcting himself and saying that it's Belift and Hype who are responsible for this, not Enhypen themselves. He doesn't condone any hate. This got a lot bigger than he ever anticipated that it would. So with all that, I'd love to know your thoughts on the situation. Let me know in the comments below. 17 are celebrating their anniversary soon, and by soon I mean in May. But some people are already upset because it seems that on the day of their anniversary, the group will be spending it doing a concert in Japan. Korean idols who are spending their Korean debut anniversary in Japan. Group 17 will hold an encore tour follow again at 3 large stadiums in Korea and Japan, their agency Pledis announced today. So, their Korean debut date was May 26, 2015, and on May 26, 2024, they will be at the Kanagawa Nissan Stadium, while their Japanese debut date was May 30th, 2018. Now, some comments are super understanding of this, kind of being like, you really can't control these things sometimes. So they're doing it at Nissan Daebak. I can understand fans being sad, and I can understand non-fans thinking that it can't be helped. They should at least end everything in Korea. I mean, it can't be helped. What's the issue here? You guys are so tiring. Let's bring in a lot of money. It's not like they were doing this every year, so who cares? It's not like it's their 10th year anniversary. I don't think that people would have minded if it wasn't a special year. If they were my bias, I'd effing hate it. They don't deserve hate for this, but I get that the fans are upset. So those comments were more or less tame and understanding, but it seems on Twitter some people were a lot more angry. Latest 17 announcement sparks intense criticism from Korean carrots. Hi, you effers! Here are some tweets. If you're going to be in Japan on your debut date, just be Japanese idols. Wow, Japanese Idols 17 are having their encore concert in Incheon. Their Korean concert looks crazy. To be honest, this is too much. Korean carrots are upset when they held their 8-year anniversary concert in Japan, and now they are holding their 9-year anniversary concert in Japan too. I can understand the group performing in another country, but it's disappointing that they're having their 9-year anniversary concert in Japan. Are our boys Japanese idols? They're K-pop idols. Hype, you effers. If you hold your concert in Incheon, how are carrots who don't live in Seoul supposed to attend? Incheon? What? Incheon's in Korea though, I don't get it. How are carrots who don't live in Seoul supposed to attend? Even worse, does it make sense for a K-pop group to hold a concert in Japan on their anniversary? Are 17 J-pop idols? For some carrots, going to Seoul would cost over 1 million Korean won. But Incheon might as well tell us not to come. Incheon, I don't where does it say Incheon, first of all? The tweet's deleted, so. Oh, because it's Incheon, Osaka. I get it now. God damn. Might as well tell us not to come. Hey, to be honest, if you hold a concert in a stadium with 30,000 people, fans won't be able to see their faces. Also, if you're holding the Korean concert in March, that is going to be when we have to study for midterms. Are you ever telling students not to come? 17 should just be Japanese idols. If you're going to do this, why are you calling yourself K-pop? Then just more comments along the same lines. What do you think of the situation? Do you think the dates are super important? That schedules would need to revolve around those dates? Or do you think when it comes to concerts and venues specifically, that it's kind of out of their hands? Let me know in the comments below. We need to talk about the Lia erasure from ITZY. ITZY have recently reached 20 million followers on Instagram, so naturally whoever runs their social media account celebrated with a post. However, it was an OT4 post. JYP Entertainment under fire for leaving Lia out of official congratulatory post. We need to check this out. Instagram, ITZY? I don't see it. It was probably JYP, wasn't it? Where's the post? I don't think the post exists anymore. Where's the post? So when I go on ITZY's Instagram, I don't see the post in question anymore. But here's the post, 20 million followers, and we only see the 4 members. This, of course, led fans to be really angry with JYP for excluding her. You know, if this was a music video milestone for a music video that she wasn't in, it would make sense to post a picture without her. I mean, she wasn't there. There's no content with her in it. But for reaching 20 million followers of an account that she was very much there since the beginning of has left people feeling a certain way. Now, we could argue maybe JYP didn't want to confuse people by putting an old picture. Maybe people would think that she's coming back when she's not, but you could also argue it would make things worse to not include her at all in this milestone. Why didn't they use a pic with Lia for the followers announcement at least? Congrats. How is Lia? She is okay? I wish Lia was in this pic, to be honest. Then we have some comments from some K-netizens. They really have no sincerity. Thinking about if they did this to my bias, my blood is boiling. There are more photos of them as 5 instead of 4. How can they do this? Must they really? The company? Ugh, this is really bad. While they were uploading this, did not one member or staff think to say, shouldn't we use a picture with 5 members? Are they really planning for her to leave? Gasp. Is she really leaving? I would love to know what you think of this. It almost feels reminiscent, even though it's quite a different situation, of back when Girls' Generation were celebrating a certain milestone for the amount of views that they got on their Mr. Mr. music video. And of course, they did an OT8 post, excluding Jessica, who was in the music video, and people were like, but she was part of Girls' Generation at that time, she deserves to celebrate that as well. But then people being like, why would they include her? She's literally not with them. She hasn't been with them in so long. Why would they use her photo? Obviously, this is very, very different, but I just thought back to that as well, because there are certain instances where it would make sense to not include someone in a milestone, but she is still very much part of the group. So like I mentioned before, you know, if she wasn't in a music video that reached 10 million views and they used like a still or a promotional picture picture that only included the 4 members, that would make a lot more sense. Then do you think maybe JYP just didn't want to confuse people? Because of course, if they saw Lia in a picture, they would think she's coming back. And you know, if a lot of people really did think she was coming back, because of course, not everyone is going to read the news. Not everyone is going to watch a video that is like updating them about Lia. They might just know, oh, she left. And if they see a picture of her, oh, she came back. And then maybe that puts a lot of pressure on Lia, who is currently trying to recover. I'm just trying to think of all the possibilities here. But of course, let me know what you think. Have you ever joined so many fan calls that your fave ends up recognizing you? I didn't think so. But if this were to happen, you would assume that eventually your bias would end up recognizing you. Maybe your face, or at least by name, something, right? Well, this lovely fan apparently attended 12 fan calls with Ningning, only for her to not recognize her. I'm really intrigued to look into this one. Netizens criticize aespa's Ningning for not recognizing a fan. This is the type of thing that I feel like would happen to me and that I would get canceled over, like not recognizing someone. I'd just be like, I'm sorry. I have a story to tell at the end. I hope I don't forget. But anyways, the controversy broke out in China on January 24th after a Chinese fan of the idol published a post on Weibo announcing their departure from the fandom. Oh my god. So, like we mentioned, this fan apparently bought so many albums that they got into 12 fan calls. But it seems Ningning never recognized her. So, the OP also shared the contents of their conversation with Ningning in the post. After joining 2 fan calls in one day, they asked Ningning if she recognized OP. And in response, Ningning replied that she remembered them from the call earlier that day. However, when OP insisted that they talked on multiple occasions before, Ningning guessed that they had met 3 or 4 times. I mean, if you're joining a fan call, like it's your 12th fan call, and only then you're realizing she doesn't recognize you, maybe there's an issue on both parts. Maybe you're not as observant either. I don't know. I'm questioning, okay? It's not illegal to question. This led the OP to believe that the aespa singer did not recognize them even after joining 12 fan calls, which costed them a significant amount of money, enough to buy an apartment. Oh my god. Like, I can't even feel bad for you, because the post also included invoices showing OP's purchase of albums and applying for the fan calls. That's a very rich people issue. The post went viral in China, with many netizens harshly criticizing Ningning for her lack of sincerity towards the fan, but some also questioned the authenticity of the OP's claims. And after the OP deleted the post blaming Ningning, suspicions arose even more. But on January 26th, the OP made another post providing evidence with a compilation of 12 screenshots from their 12 fan calls. Oh my god, that's a lot of fan calls. If anything, her hair is so consistent. I love her hairline. I aspire to have a hairline like that. So let's talk about this, because I think it's really interesting. Sometimes recognizing people is really hard. I'm not gonna lie. There was once this guy that I volunteered with. He had a parrot. I followed him and his parrot on Instagram. Not that we like knew each other super well, but he came up to me once in the wild and he was like, "Do I know you?" And I was like, "No." Just like, obviously he knew that he knew me, but he was just like, ask him. "No, we don't know each other." And like, I almost walked away. He's like, "No, but my parrot." I'm like, oh, no way. Like, in theory, that seems super rude, but I was just like, I don't know anybody. Why would I know you? So I feel like this is some shit that would happen to me and get canceled for. Like, we met 18 times. Oh, of course, if you are a hardcore fan and you got into that many fan signs, you do have a certain expectation of like, surely someone's gonna recognize me. But I think of like stories of like Taylor Swift like inviting fans to her house to share like new music or something, and I'm like, damn, like, how do you recognize these people? I often wonder, how do you recognize these people? So I feel like this is something that will cause some division, but it just depends on how good you are at recognizing people. Some people are horrible at it. There's a term called face blind. I swear, what is face blindness? I'm not saying this is what Ningning has, by the way. I'm not gonna armchair diagnose her. You guys improve my vocabulary every day. I love it. The main symptom of prosopagnosia is having difficulty recognizing faces. You'll still see the parts of the face normally, but all faces, don't listen to my medical advice. Let's move on to our discussion segment because it seems that K-netizens are talking about how us international fans are misusing or overusing certain Korean terms. First up is the term nugu. So, of course, the term nugu itself means who in Korean. But within the international K-pop community itself, it's taken on a life of its own to refer to someone or a company that is unknown. The meaning of a Korean word that changed its meaning among foreign K-pop fans. It's the word who, nugu. It's indeed the who we use when we ask who are you. If you're wondering how it's being used overseas, nugu, a nobody, someone never been heard of. Nugunis, if nugu means nobody, then nugunis means a situation referring to something that's never been heard of. A bunch of nugus, nobodies. Nugus, nugu of all nugu, the most nobody of nobodies. Nugud, nugu in past tense. Nuguism, like a nobody. Nugu era, the time someone was a nobody. Nuguing, someone acting like a nobody. Nugudom, the kingdom of the nobodies. Nugu company, a small company. So here's what some K-Netz think of this. I seriously find a bunch of nugus so freaking funny. F. Nugus of the nugus. Nugudom. Lots of in here. Nugud. Nugu in past tense. F. Nugu company. F. I actually laughed. Nuguism. F, too funny. The fact that they're using that is too funny. F, they're only learning bad things, but they're utilizing them pretty well. Bunch of nugus. F, why is that term so perfect? Next up, we have the overuse of the word sasang and kind of also changing the meaning of it. Because it seems that international stands like to call anyone a sasang when it's a really serious thing to be accused of being, to actually be. The term sasang is over misused by international fans. Let's take a little read. As a both long-term K-pop fan and someone who grew up in Korea, I feel like as K-pop grew bigger, fans have been overusing and or misusing the term sasang. Someone with a DSLR camera at a concert, sasang. Fan who goes to many events, though all official, sasang. Sasang is literally derived from the word private life and is someone who follows their favorites' private lives, i.e. camping outside their homes, calling their private phone numbers, etc. I-fans definitely not seen real sasangs. If you see lots of young women waiting in front of an apartment building, you know some boy group lives there, and I've personally seen this a couple of times. And then there are fan sites and rich fans, which I believe people like to call sasang either because they do not know better or they refuse to accept the truth that they are categorized differently from sasangs. These people know information way sooner than most fans because they're actually given these information themselves by the company or other related sources because let's face it, these are their biggest buyers. Or if they are rich, simply because they are friends with the higher ups. You may also see these fan sites and rich, many times Chinese fans always follow idols' official schedules and are in the same flights as them. Fan sites, of course, because they need the airport pictures. But otherwise, did you know that these rich families actually give their idols expensive luxury branded items on the flight? You may see your idols going on the flight empty-handed and getting off the flight with luxury brand paper bags, or usually their bodyguards' managers carry them. These items are very often used by the idols themselves. They also like to give them snacks on the flight, which the idols will share between themselves. And these idols recognize them during fan signs, treat them very well, and give the extra fan service at concerts, even saying things like, "See you tomorrow," when tomorrow there is no schedule except for their flight back. Actually, on that note, I've seen a lot of birthday gifts for Wonyoung, or there's so many people who come together to get luxury gifts for their idols, and I've seen it. I just have Wonyoung off the top of my head because I've seen Instagram posts specifically for her where fans are like, okay, we're gonna get her Mew Mew this, Mew Mew that, luxury item after luxury item for her birthday or for this event for her or for that. So I've definitely seen the luxury item side from fans towards their idols, giving that to their idols. These fans do not try to talk to the idols on the flight. They just simply put their gifts and leave them alone. Oh my god, can you imagine that? I forgot to put that not only do the idols recognize them, but also their staff, and they let them because they always keep their distance, even at airports, and never really actually bother them, except fan sites due to their pictures. Perhaps if you ever wondered why some fan sites, international fans may call sasang are still treated so well by your idols, well, there's your reason. These people are not the same people that wait outside their homes, call their phones, etc. In fact, more often than not, real sasangs are broke, hence why they camp outside their homes instead of spending thousands of dollars to get into a fan sign. Many years ago, real sasangs were also known to have relations with taxi drivers because they cannot pay them to follow their idols around, though I don't know if it's still the case today. By the way, this is just from my experience knowing lots of fan signs and rich Chinese fans from a couple of big groups from the same company. Also, this will not apply to every group out there. I know a lot of groups have spoken out about this before. Those fans who made them uncomfortable are probably new fans or fans who saved up just enough to get to business class and wanted to get every penny out of it, unlike those who always ride business. But my point is, your favorites really aren't that bothered, especially when these people are their main source of income and luxury. More often than not, they are more than welcome, even loved by your idols. The industry is a lot more complex than international fans could ever imagine. I thought that was really interesting, especially the rich nature of it all. Like, the rich fans, they're so rich that they just go around giving luxury items to their idols and they don't even bother them. But the sasaengs are so poor. That's why they're doing all this sketchy stuff. Oh my god. I feel like this really enlightened me a lot, to be honest. If it's true, of course, this is one person's experience. Take it with a grain of salt. But let's move on to Kpop Shenanigans, which are basically fun little things that have happened in K-pop recently and or quick news. It seems like K-pop is flopping. I don't know if this is necessarily news, but we can discuss briefly. Has K-pop reached its peak? Album sales plummet by 60%. A lot of people have been noticing this in terms of album sales, in terms of YouTube music video views. The reverse effect after rapid growth due to the panorama. SM aespa, 1.8 million down to 1.2 million copies. YG, shocked by failure to renew Blackpink's contract. Revenue diversification and localization strategy urgently needed. A lot of stocks have been following. Sales have been really low. Oh my god, all these groups are heading towards Nugudum. TXT have revealed a new lightstick design. I haven't seen it. I love reacting to this with you guys in real time. Is that that has to be the old lightstick? I don't get it. Oh, okay, so it's like less colorful. You can put items inside apparently. So what do you think of this new design? I personally really love like the fun little colors of the buttons. I feel like it adds such character to the light stick. But let me know your thoughts. In the last video, we were talking about Yoonjin's micro short look and kind of the backlash that she was getting. And so, the first Korean stage to introduce the pantless outfit. This is Jung-hwa in 2006 in her first stage, Come To Me. Like I said, K-pop back in the day was unhinged. If you're used to K-pop now and you go back to it, you're like, oh my god, the outfits are very scandalous. The concepts are very out there. It's definitely a shock. So here we have the pantless look. Very similar to Yoonjin's as well, right? Because she had the tights underneath, except she's not wearing a long coat. Which actually, on that note, I got the following comment that I wanted to respond to. I do agree with all you said, but I have a genuine question. How is wearing revealing clothing a way of pushing boundaries though? This is in response to me praising Yoonjin's outfit and saying that she was pushing boundaries and changing the world one booty cheek at a time. Here's my point of view. It's not about equating pushing boundaries to showing skin because she's really not showing any skin at all. I mean, she's wearing a crop top, whatever. But I've seen creators on TikTok based in the US who wear micro shorts and get hated on it because it's just inherently a controversial item. They look like diapers. It's weird. It's ugly. And that is your right to think that. I think Yoonjin is pushing boundaries one booty cheek at a time because it's out of the box. i-dle in their newest music video are also wearing something of a similar shape, but it doesn't look like underwear, and I haven't seen any backlash even though it's literally the same shape. I don't think it's about modesty because everything is covered. She's wearing tights underneath. She's wearing a long coat to cover it. The booty cheeks in question are only implied. So no, I'm not equating pushing boundaries to showing more skin. I'm just equating pushing boundaries to pushing our notion of what looks good fashion-wise, because a lot of people just hate micro shorts, in my opinion, from what I've seen. So no, contrary to what a lot of comments are saying, I'm not trying to change Korea or trying to change a conservative country or trying to push idols to show more skin to be more like the West. But I thought she rocked that outfit so well, despite how controversial micro shorts are on a global scale. So thank you for your question. It gave me a chance to respond and clarify against a lot of other comments that kind of phrased it in maybe a less nice way. So that is basically it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. As for me, I'm gonna get going. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye! I wasn't even recording the video. Can you imagine? I would have spent like an hour and some not recording the video. I would have given up on everything ever. You would have never seen me again.